Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was then asked about Macron's commitment to Israel. Albanese was asked whether Australia would join in France's call for a coalition of forces to fight Hamas. In a staggering response, Albanese seemed more concerned about humanitarian aid getting through to Gaza than fighting terrorists.
We agree with the United States that it's important that we avoid spillover on this issue, which would be bad for Israel, bad for the region. I continue to emphasise that Australia's position is for the protection of innocent lives. We mourn as a nation every innocent life which has been lost in this conflict, whether it be Israeli or Palestinian.
And he was specifically asked about Emmanuel Macron's comments about whether he would join in forces to fight Hamas, and he said he wanted to get humanitarian aid into Gaza first. That was the priority. He resisted the call. Australia proudly joined the fight against ISIS in Syria and Iraq. We proudly helped defeat the terror group that beheaded journalists and Westerners. So what's different now? Hamas has butchered, beheaded, slaughtered, and carried out depraved acts against babies, children, men, women, and the elderly. So why wouldn't Australia answer France's call and join this fight? The only difference, as far as I can see, is that the Hamas victims are Israelis. And Albanese has, over his entire parliamentary career, spoken out against Israel and in support of Palestinians. And if you need a reminder, here's a quick clip of Albanese when he was younger, holding the megaphone at a pro-Palestinian rally.
The response of Israel has been to meet children throwing rocks with helicopter gunships, with tanks and with missiles.
We're now seeing Albanese show his true colours. He could only stay on message for so long. And apparently 2 weeks after the worst terror attacks for the Jewish community since the Holocaust, well, 2 weeks appears to have been his limit. Albanese wants to focus not on France's call to destroy the Hamas terror group, but on bringing Australians living in Gaza home. Now, when Australia brought families from Syria and Iraq to Australia, there were rigorous security checks to ensure we weren't bringing terrorism into our country. Even women and children who were related to ISIS fighters remained stranded in camps for years, while security assessments were made again and again. So, has Albanese committed to bringing the 79 people who've been living in Gaza into Australia before our intelligence and security agencies have conducted checks to ensure that they have no Hamas affiliations? If Gaza is so oppressed and supposedly one of the worst places on earth, you have to ask, why would these 79 Australians or dual citizens have chosen to live there instead of our beautiful, peaceful country? We simply don't have the answers to these questions, and it's unclear if the Prime Minister has even thought of the security risk. You wonder how ASIO boss Mike Burgess might feel about it. The Jewish community is already feeling unsafe, and we need to know that Hamas terrorists aren't going to be given the red carpet and flown right into the heart of our capital cities.